Awesome. At this time, can everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And at this time, may we have a roll call, please?
Okay, Chair Mike Wrench.
Present.
Vice Chair Malecki.
Present.
Susan Lance, present. Alderwoman Courtney Day.
Here.
Commissioner Remington.
Here.
Commissioner Stanley.
Present.
Commissioner Kosler. Is that somebody new?
Yes, she's not here. Yes, she was appointed.
She was
Awesome.
appointed. So absent. Nobody's heard from her.
Maybe she doesn't start till
She may not have been sworn in yet, so she may not be official. I know as of Friday she's not sworn.
Okay, Kevin Schlater.
Here.
Principal Planner X.
She's absent.
Absent. Let's see. City Engineer Morrow.
Here.
And Dale Borcher.
Here.
At this time, are there any citizens wishing to make a comment?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I don't think most people don't know me. She knows me. My name is Leroy Leroy Lewandowski. I live at 8020 West Winston Way. I'm here because there's a lot of issues that I'd like to bring up, and one of them is this seeking for another person in the DPW. I don't know why we need anybody. We can't get the work out of them now. They're screwing things up. And I want to go through the fact that they planted trees in Pleasant View Park. They planted them under other big trees. I don't know if you people go out and look at this stuff. Those trees have been in there for over a year or more. The trees are in there crooked. I complained about that, and I also made mention that the railing on the west side of the building is loose in the concrete. This is horrible, really horrible. And I noticed, though, that the children's parks with the wood chips have a tendency to knock the chips away so you're on the bare ground. That's dangerous for the child when they fall, because we have this other rubberized flooring, and they've got an instrument to check to see if it's adequate to protect the child from falling. Anyway, they're not checking those other grounds, and we should have it checked. And one of the issues I'm going to bring up, the fact that you can put squares in at those areas. I have a warehouse that has about 30 of them. They're about that deep, about 18 inches in square. And I think that should be right where the swings are. Maybe 12 of them or something instead of the chips. They won't get kicked around. But we need to get park in condition so we can use it. I'd also like to see that that park would be opening that building there. That's a public building. Somebody told me they just built it for renting. That's wrong. I'm a taxpayer. That's my building. I want to go in there during the day, during the week. If nobody's using it, why can't I go in it? I can't. It's just like the library, I can go in that. But some of the things that I have to refer to the fact that I am well trained in trees. My family had a tree nursery in Sussex, and so I worked with a lot of trees, raised them for 15 years. And I don't like to see the way these people here handling it.
Please don't refer to them as these people or you people. Those are offensive
I
terms.
can't hear you.
Please do not refer to anybody as these people or you people. Those are very offensive. Thank you.
What should I say, the DPW?
Correct, yes. Or use their name.
Okay. I also think that you people want to put 300.
Sir, once again, we just went over this. Please do not use the term you people.
What are you doing? Give me an English class?
You were in here a couple months ago when we went through this, and you made
No,
everything.
I
Yeah,
did not.
you were, and you made everything personal, and you took shots at the DPW, and you took shots at everybody on the board, and how we don't do anything, and we don't go around, and we don't maintain anything. We don't do this, and we asked you to volunteer to be a part of the board. If you have problems with everything, be a part of the solution. Don't just sit here and tell everybody they suck and they don't know what they're doing without offering anything to help solve the problem. That's not conducive to getting anything accomplished.
I still want to go forward with the fact that you seem to want to put $300,000 towards a new floor. Is that going forward?
A new floor where?
Is it going in? Has the contract been put out? Or
At which location? There's 18
the
parks.
Killer Park.
Currently, it's on the books to get scheduled to be replaced, yes.
Well, to me, you shouldn't have to change the floor unless it's unsafety for the children, and that's by testing it. And if you didn't test it, you shouldn't go forward and put the money into it.
So, rubber floors that are put in at playgrounds have about a 10 to 15 year shelf life.
So what?
They have a shelf life of about 10 to 15 years, and then they need to be replaced. The busier they are,
Where'd you get
the
that
shorter they
from?
go.
What'd you-
Those are industry standards that come through with playgrounds.
Well, anyway, when they put that first in there, they didn't have any testing. They ran this thing open for about 6 months before they even had a test. And when I checked with Blumel at that time, Blumel had 2 machines, and one was in Minnesota and one was in South Dakota. Now I go into the library, into the parks almost every day. There was an issue too, way back when you put a sign now that the children cannot or should not climb on the buildings. That came up there, 9 months ago or something like that. However, there was an issue with that because I called Michelle Runty. I asked her to stop it way back when this thing started. And what she told me was, didn't you ever fall out of a tree? So she seems to be a person that didn't care. So this is part of your group. Yeah, I feel that there are people that are bringing their trailers on their cars into the parking. It makes it a horrible time and for other cars to get in and out. And yesterday morning I was up at the Pleasant Park and there was 4 people with 3 dogs walking around without leashes. This is a constant thing, and we have auxiliary police department. They got uniform. We could ask them to check that over. We don't have to have the regular police. So my conclusion, I just feel that we have to do something about those trees. And I've talked about it, and it's still not done.
We can have the city arborist take a look at it.
Pardon?
We can have the city arborist reevaluate it.
Well, how come it's taken almost a year and a half or so when they planted it? And I asked who planted it in that situation. And the person I talked to stipulated the fact that Glenmore did. So I don't know what you got here, but we need something to take care of it and stop the spending. I'm a senior citizen. There's a lot of senior citizens that are paying for parks, and we don't use it. We can't use it. We're too old. It's horrible that it's coming out of our tax bill. I would also like to see that the Caleb Park have signs and Pleasant View where it's only for citizens. We are paying for it. To invite the world into a park is ridiculous. More damage. I made a mention to the mayor that we could possibly put porta potties on the places of the parks that don't have any building, and we should have a bubbler there someplace if you put new parks in or do something like it, because people are walking and it would be.
Well, if you add these amenities you just brought up, that would increase the tax bill.
Pardon?
If you added amenities like you're just bringing up, that would increase taxes because somebody has to cover the costs of water and portable
basically,
toilets.
if you stop the people from coming, like Taylor Park, it's sometimes loaded, parking any way they want. Most of them, I don't know where they're coming from, but the regular people that are paying taxes maybe can't get in there. And the only way to stop that is to have it just for the citizens. We, the citizens, are paying for that park. I'm 96 years old, and I can't do anything to stop this. I talked to the mayor about it a couple of times. I talked to the mayor about getting porta potties up there and see what he will do if I have to go to the mayor. But incidentally, this park has, these park places have always been a sore thing. I am familiar with it so well that I go through every day to the one on 68, Taylor Park, and the Pleasant View. I got there about 7 o'clock. Yesterday there was 4 people with 3 dogs, no leashes, you know. So who's going to take care of that? Who's going to straighten? Why have an ordinance? Can't stop them. I told one time I was in the Taylor Park and they were drinking, you know, you can't drink in there. And I told the girl, I said, you can't do this. Why not? I didn't see that sign. And her boyfriend or husband said, well, what's the problem? I said, there's a sign out there. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take your picture. Bingo. He grabbed it from her and put. That's what we need, somebody there that can do. That thing, that place is over busy. And that's why it's costing us money to maintain. In fact, that was supposed to have flowers and gardens. Michelle promised to do all that things and nothing did. So.
All right, thank you. That'll close the citizen comment period. We'll move to number 3, approval of minutes from March 11th.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. We'll go to number 4, unfinished business. Is there an update on the tennis courts at Jack Workman?
So in your packet tonight are some pictures. And so Dale was kind enough to apply some pictures. I don't know if this is from our GIS or a drone view, but pretty obvious that there's some serious cracks, defects that when you looked at from above. Dale took some pictures of the post heaving on the side. Probably wouldn't keep most dogs out. Here's a measurement. So it's over a foot. The fencing is off the ground, so it looks like the concrete post itself is 6 inches, perhaps 7. This isn't Jack Workman.
That's I put all the other parts. That's not Bernard Bargett. The title is up further, but this is This is Pleasant View tennis courts,
Pleasant View Tennis Courts. Okay.
and that's the
Vernon
Vernon
Park.
Park pickleball court. That's the Vernon Park tennis court. That's County tennis.
So I guess the thought was we tabled it, or we not tabled, we talked about Jack Workman, I think is what we call it on the agenda. I guess the question is what, and this came up last meeting where we talked about it. What is your intent of Jack Workman? You know, I guess one option we kicked around a little bit, maybe you just get rid of the court. Second option would be rehab it to a tennis court. Third option, have it to pickleball. Or maybe we could have a basketball court. I'm not sure that we have. Would you have a basketball court there?
Yeah, there's a basketball court.
Congratulations. I was trying to help you out in the decision making. And then the last one is something else. Or we put something in the budget, try to do something to fix it. We'd like to know what are the wishes of the commission.
Do you think you'd want to survey the residents that live over? Use that? I mean, I don't know.
We can if
I
think that's
do
best.
remember somebody coming to a meeting one time from over there.
Yeah, I lived up there. There was a gentleman who came a couple years ago who wanted converted over to pickleball.
Noise is,
Yeah.
you're never gonna pass that with noise.
Yeah, it's
Oh, right in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
no
literally
way.
in the backyard. I think it would drive them nuts. Tennis court when I first moved like 2 years ago was heavily, but obviously now the last 4 or 5 years basically open. There's no parking because street parking. The baseball diamond is heavily used to practice all the little whatever. Converting it to like a picnic shelter. But that's a question that we can put out to the community and see what the thoughts
And is there a classification of what kind of park it is? Remember when we did that tour? I can't remember off the top of my head what they're called.
You caught me by surprise. I think this might be a neighborhood park, but don't hold me. It's not a pocket park. It's not a regional park.
Yeah, it'd be a
Right.
neighborhood.
So intention is park for the community that it's by. Is there already any playground equipment for small children
Yes.
there in that park area?
Real small children, no, but like a block and a half south of it, there's a playground that has. There's another park that has a playground for small.
Okay, because some of the playgrounds are for like
Between
the
there.
7 and older, and then they have those
Right here,
ones
right?
that are more for
Yep.
the 3 to 5.
Yes, that's it.
So because it's such a small
Oh, absolutely.
space,
Yeah.
something like a small toddler playground in a community like that.
Yeah. But I think with the other park, literally a block and a half away.
We do have
That one.
playground set
Yeah.
here.
There's a playground in some pretty good shape.
Well,
It's
yeah.
a basketball court.
I mean, I know there's a, if you go a little further north, there's a trail that goes over a very wet area. And there used to be a Boy Scout bridge right over there that was removed. You go down, it's right above where that green line
Right,
is.
green line. Eric's spot on. Go to the. Keep going.
Go to your right, like right in there.
Right.
And that was taken out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was
It was an Eagle Scout bridge that was failing.
and there's concern. I mean, no drainage analysis, obviously,
Right.
and it was falling apart. So
Yeah.
combination of
Absolutely. It needed to go. But I think if we took something else out, the people would go crazy. That neighborhood.
Yeah, or if they did rehab the tennis court, because we did lose tennis courts here to pickleball. But really, I wonder what the name, pickleball, if it was double striped, but it is in the center of a neighborhood, which might annoy, if the ball makes noise, but I don't know if it's the neighbors, but it'd be nice to know what the neighbors, it's their park.
court. Is this your district?
I was just
It's
trying to see
Barber.
where.
I would think it would be.
It's Mike Barber, I believe.
I think that's technically
That's-
5 because it does that weird thing over in this area where like one side of the street is 5, one side is 4.
North of Forest Hill.
I get emails from that cat all the time, so I'd assume he's the alder person. I mean, it'd be something he could reach out in his newsletter.
I could ask the barber to check with his constituents.
Should that just be the location of our ice cream rink?
Yeah.
I said, could that be the location for the ice skating rink? There's no trees with the leaves in, you know, and create that heat that we had the issue with over here. And then it would only be seasonal for that community, that there would be an influx of maybe people from outside their neighborhood coming to it, you know? An idea.
So even with that, we have to do something because cracks and the unevenness of the court out.
Yeah.
Hold the
allows to have
plastic
that.
lining.
There really isn't a water source close by to fill it. That's the only drawback.
We should probably remove the court that's there, repave it, put a fence in.
Skate parks out.
That would be louder than the wall.
And probably more loitering.
Yes, sir.
No, I just wanted to mention a couple things. On this court, I kind of looked at the fence, how much it's up. On the north end, it's pretty tight, except for on the west corner, it goes up 4 inches on that corner. And here it's the highest, it's 11 inches high here. And then on the southwest corner, it's about 6 inches high. And then southeast corner, about 4 inches high, and then it goes down to 0, probably 10 feet.
So this is the worst one.
So the north side's not bad, and the east side's not bad, but the other 2 sides are heaved quite a bit. So that's the fence. The reason I put the other pictures of the other parks in, because this is Pleasant View. The east court on Pleasant View, the east tennis court, has a lot of water problems. It has a lot of cracks. You can see the water stains on this. I'm just trying to show what other courts need work. If you want to compare it to this court, where you're going to put your money. The pickleball, those 4 pickleball courts have a lot of cracks now too. At Vernon Bar, those there. See, I tried to caulk it. I had some white caulk, and I just tried to. Every year I try to seal as many cracks as I can up so the water doesn't get in there and freeze again. But it's a losing battle. And then that's the tennis court. And then these at Ken Wendell aren't bad. The reason the one on the right is darker is so that the one on the left was pressure washed and the other one didn't. These aren't bad. But that's the reason I put all the courts in. Get a feel for which ones are the worst. One at work, worst. Kind of documented the widths of some of these cracks. The cracks go up to 1.25 inches wide in some areas, and there's a mismatch in height. We actually, I was told to close this park down probably 4 years ago. 5 now, but because of the cracks, and I was told to open it. Nothing's really changed on the court since then, so I don't know why I was told to close it and open it. It's technically playable, I guess, if you kind of figure out the cracks and grind them down a little bit and fill in the bottoms there with some fencing from Menards or something. It's going to look like it's kind of an embarrassment, but I mean, make it playable.
I heard ask the alderman their suggestions.
I think that would probably be easy. Have the alderman ask the people to get their thoughts on it.
Community gardens, another thought too. learn how to grow vegetables. Something.
Somebody.
Don't blame it on Michelle. I guess we'll move on. Gentlemen, do you got an update on parks maintenance at all?
I can start with the across the street. We expect to see that paved this week. With all the rain we had last week and the rain we had this weekend, we're not sweating it, but it's solid. So it's had to sit there all winter, and they have it. Obviously, no rain today. We don't tomorrow. So basically, they're just waiting for the asphalt plants to open, hoping they'll get a batch.
The restrooms at all the pavilions are open now. Franklin Woods, Pleasant View, Legend, Vernon Park, and Ken Wendell. All the picnic tables that were stacked and in place at the parks for the summer. Tennis and pickleball nets are all up. And screen will be coming up soon. And the volleyball nets. Franklin Woods, it was big on the log roll. Pipe broke and worn out and broke, so I had to rebuild that. So that's all back together last while. At the Easter egg hunt, Lions Club had the Easter egg hunt at the Legend Park, and that was a little sloppy, but I think the kids had a good time. And, we helped them out. And they used to have part of the hunt in where the tennis courts are, so we fenced off an area for the kids. Them all.
Excellent, thank you. We'll move on to letter B. Park facilities reservation and permitting policies. Discussion of reservation policies for league sports and other groups. These rules and policies for parks. Letter I, or number 1. Pickleball facility rental and reservation policy rental fees.
Did anybody have a chance to go over the pickleball? You all said we were going to do.
Yeah, like Milwaukee County Park charges $15 an hour to report. Some of the stuff that I found seemed to be pretty similar in
Right.
the other bigger cities.
They all kind of do their little different things.
Everything's a little
Yeah,
different, yeah.
they're all a little different. Like, some of them just have times where you can come and play and join other people, and they have like divisions. I think Waukesha that like,
Open play.
yeah, it's kind of open play, and you just go and you do it. I think they do charge. I think like for like a period of time, like they give you a pass. A lot of people use passes. Stuff like that. So they're all over the board. There's like no one that was that the research that I kind of had and stuff. So I was gonna call a little them and see what they actually. Most of them, they're all like seriously all over the board. So they all probably had a little bit what they were. So I guess we decide what we want to do. Yeah, Illinois, because I checked, like they have those park divisions and stuff, or park districts, which they're maintained really nice and stuff like that, and they charge quite a bit for them. Very active.
At Waukesha, don't you have to have a parks also too? Their parks?
No, not at all of them that I saw. But they have passes that they use. Buy a pass and use it. I was just focused on them.
Waukesha's got difference between city parks and county parks too.
Right.
Where like a county park's bigger, like you need a pass. They have
Right, to a park.
Yeah,
yes. But
seasonal
the city
stuff.
you don't.
Right, the city parks.
And they have lights at theirs, most of them. More developed. Ours. It's been interesting, just finding out what they're all doing, that
Yeah.
it's so different that they're not.
Right, the couple cities, places I looked at, it's been reserved for for the court for an hour, where they had certain windows where times.
Mm-hmm.
There's indoor places made to play. Got in,
Right.
it wasn't consistent across the board at all.
Right. Yeah, so it was interesting. So that it didn't help. Like it
Yeah.
didn't solve anything. Like what I was just hoping you'd find it. And, oh yeah, this is what they do, and that's good. We
Yeah.
can do this, but I haven't found that yet. So I think I just research a little bit more on that time. That's going to apply till probably.
Yeah, and I found, there's things that I question should be here or should be changed. But until we get software, until we find out who's going to handle all the reservations,
Right.
you don't know really what you're going to
Although
do.
you do want to be on top of it before
Right.
you get your software because
Correct.
you're going to need all that information
Yeah.
to enter
Right.
and stuff like that. So, and you're going to need policies at that time too because you want to list them. You want to just be prepared.
I think this will take a group of, almost a whole meeting to go through
Yeah.
and
Right.
make the updates.
Right. I think so too.
You know how we had split up the sections,
Yep.
we each took a column.
Yep.
So when I was looking at it, I was doing the same thing where I'm like, well, this is gonna be relevant until we have some kind of system.
Right.
So what I tried to do was extract what the system should be capable of doing. So that way, when we go out to purchase a software program, we can say, can it do refunds? Can it do credit card purchases? Will it take checks? Can we, do credit? Can we store credit for people who make reservations and then they can apply it? And can it stay in the system for 2 years, which I think is the law. Right?
Well, and I didn't see anything in here.
Most of them handle all that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
right.
yes to all
So that's
those.
one of the things that we
Yeah.
could do is like identify what we need from a reservation
Yeah.
before we go out to budget.
Yeah, and it didn't have anything in here about somebody that might come and reserve Monday night through the whole season. You know what I mean? And you're not letting anybody else. Because didn't we at some meetings say you could only do 2 in a row or something like
We
that?
had talked about that, yeah.
And I don't know,
Limitations on the amount of reservations per day, and then how far out you could reserve
Yeah,
them.
I thought it was a real good start.
I agree.
I don't know what the next step is as far as.
Maybe
Budget is due by October, budget requests, is that right?
So they generally start sooner than that, so there's different phases. So first it's going to be personnel requests, we'll talk about that today. Then we get asked about capital projects, and the last thing is kind of spread out, probably June, July, depends on other things the finance department has to do with Hamilton personnel. But we should have operating in probably in August. That gives the council September, October.
So you said personnel, operating costs, and what was the third one?
Capital.
Capital.
Second one is capital.
Second one is capital.
And funding for the IT upgrade was submitted for last fiscal year, but then it didn't get passed for the software upgrade, right?
So how the process works is make recommendations. Everyone throws in their wish list. And some people have to make hard decisions and decide which. The mayor has a recommended budget, and that recommended budget is what tries to finance. And sometimes common council or finance committee will throw things back on the pile, but if the mayor submits a balanced budget, then it's put something on, you got to figure out what else.
City government sounds a lot like federal government.
Yeah.
No, city government can't print
What's going on?
and go into the deficit.
So is the assumption that the requests that don't go through on 1 year would continue on to the next year?
Not necessarily.
So we have to resubmit
You have to
again.
resubmit it. So
And
But
if-
yeah, there's lots of things that got proposed last year by department. It got listed in the budget book, but as a zero.
And if we presented the IT upgrade with this software as we can't make the citizens of this city, happy with not being able to reserve court time, does that ever get presented with the request for money, or is it just a dollar sign? And
Well, if you
Yeah.
could anticipate the number of people that might use them, you could find out the
So,
money they'll make also.
so with our budget, we actually interline items, but for special things, sometimes we'll prepare a memo, talk about how important this thing is and the importance of it.
a special memo attached to the request for the reason, justification.
Yes.
And then each, department, so the budget for this falls under DPW. So when they come, every department gets to present kind of their case for their wish list to the finance committee. So it might be something that maybe somebody, at least one or multiple members from Parks and the commission come to kind of speak to some of the things that are specific to this group and why those items are important.
Plus, it also, if we aren't ever going to do a paper, we don't want to do paper to do this. It will take off from them doing the pavilions, also the software program, which their hourly wage, all that can.
So that'd be a part of the justification.
Yeah.
Would this software upgrade go along with IT's request for financing?
So anything that's computer software related also has an additional step and needs to go through the IT technology committee. They make sure that, for example, we don't want to post something that only works with Apple software. They look at those kinds of things. How does it mash with their, current hardware and software, and we talk these other programs? They ask those kinds of questions above my head. So once it gets through that committee, they can say, yeah, we recommend software Acme for this product because they make those.
How big is the IT department?
The actual department is we have 2 employees and then we have 2 part-time GIS folks.
What's GIS?
Geographic information, the mapping systems. So they come in twice a week. Two guys twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays that are here and help us database.
Is this like a really big cost, this software package? Does anybody know?
Well, if it's
is
cloud-based, it's going to be a recurring cost that they'd have to put into
Right.
the budget, right?
Yearly, yeah.
Yep.
But is it like $50,000?
I don't know. I was peripherally involved in the discussion. I don't think it went far enough.
So one of those 2 employees puts in the request for their IT budget for infrastructure upgrades, and
So, yes, some things only they understand what they're asking for, and sometimes for a department, I may know that I need something. I replace the gas dispenser program. So I know that ours is getting old, and every time they come to service, it's got to be something like that. So in that case, we would propose it to the IT, and depending on what it is and how much it is, it goes in their budget. Or if I want new AutoCAD software, it comes out of some sort of thing that allows databases to talk to each other. That might be out of the IT.
because Parks doesn't fall under their own line of the organization chart, though, what ours would fall into the budget.
You're generally under the DP.
Well, I would think that other departments would want to something or join in on this, like the library. They have programming and they use it for signing up.
In the rec department.
So you brought some. Library is technically separate from the budget. They set of books. They have to be separate. However, that would help sell the project.
Yes.
You could talk to the library board. They have their own board. Go talk to the library director and discuss what this does, and maybe jointly you can discuss, and maybe they pay a portion and you pay for
So would any of the TIF money apply to this? It's not a person.
it.
TIF.
That's only for infrastructure, so water, sewer, streets, those kinds of things. Not for software or personnel. And you also have to show that it's specific to that.
We can visit. Set aside some time to have a discussion on where we want to go. We'll go to number 2 for the park schools.
Was that about the,
Is that the signs?
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought that was.
the, using the pavilions?
Yeah, you're taking
So
it to the common council.
So we did take this to common council. So currently it's tabled. So this appeared on the agenda where it went till 2 o'clock in the morning. And this appeared quite late in the agenda. It was decided that the attorney had some concerns, questions, and so forth. And so it got tabled, definitely. Talked to him at last meeting, so it hasn't appeared yet, but it will return after the city attorney discusses it. So we've talked to him a few times about what the intent was, and he's like, let me think about it. Thinking about it amongst council.
Sure. Table. We'll move to letter C, 2024 budget. Numeral uno. Budget request for personnel. Commission proposal to request a new DPW position to coordinate park permitting and other functions.
So again, full disclosure, I said this last time. I'm not excited about this because I'm trying to sell DPW. New employees get employees. Every year I have a tough time competing with police and fire, so Kevin needs to be sexy.
Get a calendar.
So, anyway, I mean, that wouldn't be pretty. Seems like police and fire typically get it, and we always come in second or third, depending.
Sure.
Anyway, having said that, I'm more than willing to help you write the memo. And this is the personnel budget. So basically, again, the first thing, part of the budget process, submit a memo, try to plead your case as to why a person is needed, what this person will be doing, and so forth. So I sat down and quickly got stumped because I don't know who forwarded information to
Kristen did.
yeah, you
Yeah.
you submitted some information. This is, I believe, from a ChatGPT on what administrative staff would be, basically, but also, but then a lot of other information someone's provided to her for Parks Director. So I guess the question I pose to you, I need to know what, I mean, I don't know what to write. You can't tell me what you're thinking. So are you looking for a part-time admin assistant? Are you looking for a director to run it? And I need to know, first of all, and so what I did was I provided everything that Marion gave me in your package. What in that list do you like or not like? And if you help me do that, then I can maybe glean from that and try to tell in this memo. Unless one of you would like to write the memo, and I'm more than happy to help write it, but I don't know what you want to say.
I think in a perfect world, we would want a park director, but from the sounds of the way the city is in the fight for budget and personnel, that an admin clerk would be more realistic of an ask than a park director.
I think so
In my
too.
opinion.
And don't the different commissions kind of help drive some of the things the city wants? That way, a director having to coordinate some of this stuff I saw in here. I mean, do we really think this person will? Well, she'd have to do, or he, expense reporting, budget tracking. But I saw the salaries were pretty nice, high salaries for directors. And admin, part-time, wouldn't think would cost as much.
Is it expense reporting? What else? like on that list?
Um,
You mentioned.
I liked number 1. These,
administrative-
well, some of, administrative support.
You wanna
And
just-
is that,
I think our intention
that
was
to
to help
Kevin
take
or-
some of the city clerk role
yeah, I was,
and pull it into an admin position for park,
yeah.
to include pavilion rentals, all the park reservations. Is that right? Am I right?
Yes, yes. The phone calls that they're getting.
So you're looking at
I
a
wanted
clerk
a
position.
director.
Is that a fair statement?
I think you're looking at administrative, clerk, like part-time position.
Part-time?
I would think
I
so.
thought-
Well, would
But
it be
the only-
would it be part-time or would it?
Is it easy to get part-time people now? Like,
Depends on what you want them to do.
Yeah.
I think the clerk's department would tell you that some of their busiest times are off-season. First of the year when you can, they spend almost a couple full days.
With those people
Right.
coming in for rentals?
Like with our parks department in Milwaukee County, the busiest time for permits and rentals are from January. When everybody's booking picnics, building, or
So, yes, good question. Part-time or season?
well, you could have a seasonal person work year round.
right.
I don't know exactly what the rules are for the Franklin. Milwaukee County, they can work 50 out of the year. Not 50. Has to be 2 weeks. You have to have a severance for 2.
Didn't Marion say she didn't feel she was the person that should be at this meeting and that this person, new person, would be the one to come to the meeting?
So if I jump ahead a little bit in the agenda, we are
Oh.
talking about restructuring. And maybe you want to go to that item first?
Sure.
Talk about that.
Is that the proposal that ex officio?
The marketing, no, I'm sorry.
E,
E.
right, ex-representative Parks and
Thought it was.
Well, that's Leah.
No, then we have a new item to talk about mowing.
Mowing.
I didn't see
You're right.
anything
It-
other than,
It was left out.
okay.
I apologize, I thought it was going to be in the agenda. So I'll give you a snapshot. So Mary and I have sat down and kind of talked about knowing that clerk's department wants to unload a lot of their parks responsibilities. They're busy enough for election, IEIO. Planning department has 0 additional capacity to absorb that. I have 2 admin staffs. Generally, I tell people it's like fast food. Sometimes it's, all hands on deck, and other days they're scratching to get something, find something to do. Right? Not quite that bad, but it might appear. So I was willing to absorb some of the responsibilities. Having said that, I just got a letter of resignation from one of my admin. Fortunately, she gave me over a year's notice, so she's going to be here. But having said that, this year I do have a big project where we're trying to take all of our files and rooms of files and scan them. So that's, I can tell you at least for next year that I don't have any capacity to wait. Once I get past that and I replace the person who's resigning in a year, retired I should say, she did her notice.
That's awesome.
And, so, been here since 1997.
Wow.
So anyway, but once we possibly replace her, then maybe I might be willing to take something on and so have the staff to actually operate the software thing. But I can tell you, I can't. So that's where we're going with this. So we're talking about how to adjust the how we prepare the packets, how we set up the room, and that sort of thing. And I'll be taking more of a share of doing this. So instead of Gail putting all the documents together, it would be my staff putting all. But in the meantime, there'll be some sort of a transition. But I am willing to start taking on more of that. So if just because the clerk's department is dumping some things doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fall into this. There will be, I'll probably have the staff maybe take more of a role in doing it.
And if they did get a part-time person, admin support, if it is year-round part-time, could that person be cross-trained to help in the clerk's office or in other departments? If there's,
So there's a thought. I guess you may petition for a part-time clerks, knowing that the clerk's going to keep this. So you'll have to talk to the city clerk and make sure she's okay keeping these responsibilities. I think her desire is to get rid of this. So let's say, what if we gave you a half-time person, but in return, your office has to keep all this? That they may be interested in.
I think that's the direction we go to start with. I still think eventually we're continued growth of parks probably.
So going back to this item, do you want me to have the city clerk think about it and appear at your next meeting to discuss that option?
That'd be great if they're willing. All right.
I have a tickle.
And if we can get that, part-time clerk kind of thing, but helping out the clerk's department, that completely changes how this mail would. Sure.
But wouldn't it also be a part-time person, but also would be more to support the parks?
Yes, but I would suggest to you that supporting the parks is not a full-time year-round position.
Right.
So if you said we're going to give you a part-time clerk all year round, in return you have to take on responsibilities. That's worth concern for.
Yeah. As
Absolutely.
long as somewhere somebody's picking up the slack. I personally don't care where they land. If it's under parks, whatever it's under.
And then we'll have that person prepare the minutes and distribute, set up the things.
Oh, that'd be great.
Come to the meetings.
I don't have to.
Oh, no? I thought it was in here that they'd come to the meetings. That was okay.
I thought we
Well,
did too.
Again, you tell me
Well,
what
kind
your
of to give a
purpose is.
report on what they're doing.
And it would be good feedback for them and for us to hear from them.
So in my memo to Marion, kind of outlined how I thought that I would like to see more words. Not fancy, it can be bullet points, whatever. At least give you something, and I appreciate all the work Dale does, but when we come and the last minute throw out a problem, I don't want to throw out a problem unless there's a solution. Have you kind of come on to it? Make a snap call. Sure.
Makes sense. Excellent. We'll move on to letter D, Parks marketing materials, park amenities donation policy, parks marketing materials including maps, pamphlets, etc.
I have some good news, people.
Okay.
Yay! Our little brochure that we're going
Yeah.
to print off and the map. I got the money for it. It's
Awesome.
all good.
Fantastic.
We just have to figure out how they're going to pay us.
Who's they?
That's the Tourist Commission.
Oh,
So,
cool.
That was suggested by the Common Council. That's Yay.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
So I still have to go to another meeting, I think. I'll have to talk to Marion. I think it's coming up next.
17.
Yeah. They just wanted more information again, but they have everything in their hands already. On that Parks booklet, the one where you rent, it tells you everything about the rental. I did change page 12 after our changed, because I already had that you can reserve this stuff, and the clerk's department would have a fit if we were saying you can reserve it, so I changed it to kind of what we said that all the rec departments and stuff, can't do it during then, and you can't reserve it now. It's just open right now, so we can go back once we figure out. Yeah, so we'll be getting 500 copies of that booklet. As stuff, I wish we had it earlier because everybody's already.
You're going to have them here?
Yep. They stay
Are there
here.
going to be any at the library? That's a good
Yeah,
place.
and the library.
Stop
Yes.
in.
So as far as 500 will go. So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you guys
Thanks
will
for
all get
doing
one.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
it was exciting. They liked it. They were all.
Good.
Tourist Commission, they were very excited about it.
I heard that the health department took your materials too, and they're incorporating into their planning as well. And they're going to use the map for their wellness for the city.
Right,
So,
good.
Nice.
I did mention to them that I would give them credit Tourist Commission, a little small tagline that they donated this towards us. I'll put that in both of those items. Yay!
What about the money for us?
I put a little bit more in there so we can do bigger maps like that. Yes, to blow them up. So I'll just do that.
But not just the maps, we have to have the kiosk.
Oh,
More
I
cost
didn't.
in-
Oh, I didn't ask them for any money for the.
Well, there are kiosks at Franklin Woods and Caleb.
Not all the parks,
Oh, not all the parks, right.
but that map should be everywhere.
Right.
It should be
So
posted,
cool.
yeah, so oh, it's very nice.
Scouts and get it.
That's a good idea, and they could laminate them, or if they made the key.
They build it. I'll talk to the scout.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good project for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Would be.
Was on that list that I.
And didn't, person that's out in front said, was it the scouts and the high school together do things, like you could get, because their wood making class or whatever is looking for projects?
They did the engraving and the panels at Kayla's Park through for their fundraiser. They etched the names into the posts of the events at the. That's another thing. I don't want to skip around, but I just thought of something. But an art park might be cool and connecting to the school because it's chain link fence at that small park in your area. The school could do sculpture art in there, and then it could be opened up for people to go and view it for high school student artwork to be on display. But big piece, you know, like an art sculpture
Are
area.
you talking the tennis court?
Yeah, that one tennis court. Just a thought. It just came to me. Art park or fitness workout of the day. You can go do pull-ups in the morning. Right.
Needs to be bigger than 12 inches or it might be.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, it just came to me while we were talking. But that's great about the thing.
Yeah.
And I can talk to 2 Scoutmasters from Franklin, and well, actually 3, and I'll say that that might be an idea for some of their interest. That we
Or
need.
else the high school would be us
Right.
too.
Oh, that's a great
Probably-
idea. Yep.
They'd probably money for
And are probably looking for projects
Yeah.
to do with this.
Yeah, they said we could make recommendations, right, to the department.
Right.
Right.
We'll move to letter E. Proposal to add ex officio member from the Franklin Public Schools Education and Rec Department.
I don't know that I knew much about it.
Thought we had asked beforehand
Yeah, I thought there was something.
if
in
they
there.
could include somebody who could come from meetings periodically to
Yeah,
answer
and-
some of the questions. It was Leah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we voted on.
Didn't it go to council?
Yeah, we voted on.
You're right, you're right. So there is
Yeah.
information in your packet, common council. They passed a resolution, actually an ordinance. So they made that-
So is she invited now, or? Yeah.
Does she also have to be sworn in as ex officio, or can she, I don't remember what
I don't-
with Michelle if she
I don't know.
was officially sworn in or if they just. So it might be the same thing that we need, just the official swearing in and then. But yeah, she's all approved or somebody. It was either I believe they used either Leah or Brad to come depending on availability.
Did I see that they would be voting?
I think it's their vote. Could be misremembered.
And I think this.
No, I don't think they vote.
No, it said they didn't vote.
Did not vote?
They did not have voting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So she may, is somebody have to follow up? To
No.
see if,
Yeah,
I think Mary.
we'll check with them. I mean, they don't have to come to every meeting. Look at the agenda and see if they're part of it. I guess we'll move to Roman numeral V, new business. Environmental Commission recommendation regarding mowing. They would like to adopt a proposal for best practices for mowing of native plants.
So there's information in your packet, memo from Marion X regarding this issue, what the Environmental Commission had proposed. There's also a email from Tom Ria, he's our city arborist, looked at it. I guess bottom line is it looks good. This is definitely, we're not talking the highly manicured parks. We're talking out in the open field kind of thing, Victory Park and those. Quite honestly, I expect this probably to be what we try to employ for Water Tower Park. Talked about a walkway through where you look at things, but we can get to the stage where we only have to say run a bush hog over it once or twice a year. That'd be awesome. Or you can have the native plants where it really doesn't require any mowing. Grow naturally so that the plankton doesn't. So this is something we looked at a little bit. Any additional thoughts or comments on?
Just that we'll keep mowing the parks like we always have, and we'll treat Pleasant View the same way.
Anybody questions?
Run the mill parks will change. This is more of the trying to look at.
So are they going to make natural things, or they're already there?
So
It's
Victory-
something about $100, $400 to $600 for the natural plants.
So things like Victory Creek, they might supplement and add some things, but for the most part, it's pretty much going to let it go wild, if you will. Water Tower Park's going to take a lot of effort to get to that because it's so thick with buckthorn. We're struggling now just to try and keep buckthorn down, but as soon as we start making some progress on that, then we'll start planning. We're actually going after some try to completely redo the wetlands, plant a lot of other trees. So the idea is we don't want another golf course town. We want to go leave it natural and let the wetlands. We want the good plants to crowd out the bad plants. Same for the prairie grasses and so forth. And go out there, it's a collecting kind of walk and on the benches and things. And
So more the southwest park.
could be, Southwest Park. I think it can be anything because it's not anything right now. But I think the idea for the Southwest Park was to be the active park. So if you're going to put in fields of the cricket and what else the city needs for active, I think that was originally the idea. But having said that, it is right up next to the Franklin Savannah. So who said it can't be a blend of both? I don't know. We still have to go through the planning.
If we put everything in the park.
Yeah, I think it's a big park, but by the time you put everything into it, everybody wants about 20 sites.
So this is just a FYI when.
I believe so, yeah. Not asking for recommendation, but you should be aware of it.
Awesome. Unless anybody has anything else, that would end the meeting. Next meeting, I believe, is May 13th. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I have a comment though. We have so many chairs here. Why does Dale have to sit there like some kind of visitor?
Dale likes to sit in the corner.